Insight, L'chayenu on page 140. So we just talked that Yitzchak, at the end of the story, he did some farming. He did very well. He reaped 100-fold because God blessed him. So what's interesting is, it's clear from this narrative that the patriarchs were very good businessmen. Nonetheless, it's also clear they engaged in material pursuits solely with the objective of fulfilling God's will. Meaning, Rashi's telling us in the Gemara, why did Yitzchak do this whole plow? Why was he seeding? Why was he farming? It was initially he did the farming in a way to know how he could get tzedakah money from this. Mm-hmm. That's why he was estimating
100.
It was one, and then he was 100 because the whole enterprise was a charitable goal. And you can't do it if you don't have your own produce, right? Because really, biblical tithing is produce, not money. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to have some produce so he could do the mitzvah of giving produce. Like our patriarchs, what's the lesson? When our involvement in the pursuit of a livelihood and wealth is similarly motivated, we are blessed with overwhelming success. Meaning, when you look at your job as not as a career to be comfortable with,
an end all,
but it's just a means to a greater end, to have means to do what God wants, chiefly among them giving charity, then you're like a mini Yitzchak, and you'll be blessed with a lot of more success than you can imagine.
100-fold.
And just to say the daily mitzvah, lots of mitzvahs today. The 299th prohibition is we're forbidden from giving misleading advice. Okay. You can't, the proverbial putting a stumbling block in front of the blind. If someone asks you, you can't do that. It doesn't mean don't put a stick to trip a blind person. It means if someone is asking you advice for something that he is blind and he doesn't have experience in, this mitzvah prohibits misleading or deceiving him. Rather, you should guide him towards the choice you think is proper and taking yourself, your own agenda out of the picture. The 202nd positive mitzvahs were commanded to unload the burden of an animal which is buckled under its load in a field. The 203rd mitzvahs that were commanded to help a person load a burden on an animal or on himself if he is alone, once it has been unloaded by somebody else, someone else. Mm-hmm. Just we are commanded to remove a load from a buckling animal. We are commanded to help reload. It's a second mitzvah, 203, or number 203. 270th prohibition is that we're forbidden from leaving someone who is trapped under his burden, stuck on the road. Someone's donkey breaks down, you got to help him. You can't ignore him. Rather, we must help unload the burden until he can adjust it, then help him lift it, either on his own back or onto his animal, and explain the details of this mitzvah. Have a wonderful day.